You're watching the interview section of MIHAS International. Good afternoon. Today's guest is Gedge, and she's from Dental Mavericks, and they're always thinking of special initiatives to raise money for their cause, which, as I will explain, is to provide sustainable oral health programme in Morocco for children, providing dental services for free. And Dental Mavericks was set up in 2010 by Gedge and her husband Tony Gedge. And they've just come back from climbing the highest peak of North Africa, which was Mount Toubkal, in just 2 days to raise money for Dental Mavericks. So we're going to find out how they got along. Good afternoon, Callie.
Good afternoon, Karen.
And congratulations, because you raised over £5,000.
Yes,
and it's
tremendous.
Still ongoing, isn't it?
Still ongoing, yeah. We're still collecting money in now from different people who are donating, but yeah, about 5,000 sterling, so that's really a great achievement.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And before we find out about your climb, perhaps just to remind people the aims and purposes of Dental Mavericks.
Yes, Dental Mavericks was set up in 2010, and our main aim is to bring pain-free dentistry to children in the rural areas of the Rift Mountains and the Atlas Mountains who have no access at all to dental care, but are also in a lot of dental pain as well through you know, not having oral education, but also not having access to extractions and dental care that they
in
greatly
general
need.
That we take for granted.
Yes.
And I think it's safe to say, isn't it, that I mean, it can in some cases, you know, when you're not actually looking after your teeth and you've got poor oral hygiene, it can lead to abscesses, which in turn can lead to septicemia if not treated with antibiotics, which they don't have either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people can die from this.
Yeah, and we had 2 cases in 2014 last year, which was a real big defining point for Dental Mavericks, because we were always aware that there was a danger of septicemia within the children that were treated, and the amount of abscesses that we'd seen over the last 5 years. But particularly last year, we had a child of around 3 years old came in, and she had a really high fever. And the dentist that was treating her, Richard, it would have got to the point that if we hadn't have gone in at that point and extracted the teeth, that she would have then developed septicemia and potentially would have been a fatality. So that was a turning point for us, because out of the 5 years of working, that one child was a big change for us, and we really saw the even more need then after that.
After that, yeah, exactly. Now you have lots of projects ongoing as well, but I think everybody'd like to know how you got on with this special climb.
Yes.
We'll talk about the climb, and then we'll talk about what you were doing a couple of days before that as well.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, you must have done so much training and so much sort of like not just physical preparation but mental preparation as well.
Yeah. I think when we take on a challenge, it's something that we we do seriously, but I don't think when it's something you've not done before, and I mean, I do exercise, but not to the extreme amounts of climbing a mountain. You can never prepare yourself for really what's in front of you. So yeah, we did prepare, but I don't think you can ever prepare for how you're going to feel in situations that you've never been in before.
No, because you did a little bit of sort of like the climbing just beforehand, which was La Concha, wasn't it?
Yes, we did that a couple of times, but I found that really difficult, and it was nothing. That was like 1% of what actually Toubkal was like.
Wow.
Yeah.
How high is it?
It's 4,180
feet.
Meters or
meters.
Feet, meters, meters. Sorry, So it's you get into the level of we climbed on the first day to sort of a base camp where we got used to the altitude, but normally the climb's done in 3 days and 2 nights, and we did it in two days and 1 night. And I don't actually know why. It just wasn't a big enough challenge, but the second day was particularly the most difficult, I would say.
Was it? Why was that?
Yeah. Well, once you get up to the top, you think, we did a walk on the first day, and then we went to the base camp, and then we got up at dawn, got up to the summit, and then you sort of have this mental sort of feeling of, oh, we've done it almost, and you haven't. You've got the descent and more. So the second day we walked for 15 hours, and the exhaustion afterwards was just unbelievable, and you know, really felt like throwing my dummy out of the pram at times as well. But we all did it, and we all finished it. So
I can imagine 15 hours of going downhill. Would also be very difficult for your back and your knees.
Back and your knees, and a lot of screed. There's a lot of screed and a lot of snow. So we were on.
There was snow.
Snow. We were on crampons. We had some fun coming down part of the mountain where people had walked. They'd left like a toboggan type of thing. So we were just on our bottoms, just sliding down for part of it. You know, having some really good fun like kids. But it was you know, full on. Definitely.
Because I mean, you did this on the 10th and 11th of May. So you'd think, oh, there won't be any snow, but I suppose because it's so high up.
No, and we started off in 38-degree heat.
Oh,
and
what a contrast.
And the contrast was ridiculous. So then we started off in shorts and T-shirts and ended up in ski gear at the top. So it was a big difference in temperature, but great fun as well.
Because there was 5 of you.
There was 5 of us, and then we had a guide and another guy, and 2 guides at Domin, and then the guy who organises the trip, Matt from Adventure Bug, he was there as well. So there was 8 of us in total, but 5 dental Mavericks who were doing it.
Excellent. And I suppose, I mean, when you got to the top, you would have had fantastic views, I presume.
The views were amazing. You know, you've got to lift your head up. Apart from sort of sticking to the concentration of climbing the mountain, when you got to the top, you really felt like you were on top of the world. It was absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Really beautiful.
And the colour somewhere like that is just so precise and clear, isn't it? All the different colours.
And you could see the Sahara, you could see the heat rising up off the Sahara, like the haze and the mountains all around. And there was a dog up there when we got there. A dog had just randomly gone up there. I think it was from the refuge, so that was laid up there, which was a bit weird. So we were trying to get, we thought it had altitude sickness, so we were trying to get it back down, but it wasn't interested. It was happy to see the people reaching the summit and maybe sharing a bit of beef jerky or something.
That's why it was there.
Waiting for treats.
It didn't have to fight for it with all the other dogs.
No, it was the number one. Great.
Clever dog. Definitely. Well done with that. And people can still make donations, can't they?
Yes, through if you go to Virgin Just Giving and just search Dental Mavericks, you can still make donations for them. So we're obviously more than welcome.
Okay, lovely. Now on the 7th and 8th, you had a little break on the 9th, but on the 7th and 8th, you were working with the Eve Branson Foundation. Is that right? And you were providing dental services for these children that haven't had any dental services and needed things doing with their teeth, perhaps even taken out. And just to remind people that Eve Branson is the mother of Richard Branson. And she's always had child welfare in mind, hasn't she? She,
if there's a book called Mum's a Word, and it's written by Eve Branson, and it's all about her journey in Morocco and her life as well. But in the book it mentions that she wanted her son Richard to open a hotel in Morocco because she fell in love with the country. And he then said to her, well, if we open the retreat, then you have to look after the surrounding villages and the community around that Casbah, which she's done. And we were introduced again through Matt from Adventure Bug. We were told about Eve Branson and her foundation, and it took probably about 2 years to sort of make connections with her and get involved with her. But it's our 2nd year that we've worked with her now. A phenomenal woman, and she's 93 or 94 now, and she gets on an EasyJet plane on her own. She's
amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, they say behind every man, a great man, there's a great woman.
Fantastic,
and it's definitely, well, obviously his wife as well, but his mother's definitely had a massive influence, I would say.
She's got lots of drive,
lots of spirit. Amazing. I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago, and I had all my questions all ready to ask her, and I just didn't get a chance to say anything. She just came on the phone and just told me everything she wanted me to know, and that was it.
Oh, fantastic.
Really strong spirit.
Lady.
A definite good role model.
And so you were actually there, the team were there. 17, I believe. Was
17 of us, yes. We worked on the 7th and 8th of May, and we took just 350 children out of dental pain, and we also applied fluoride coating to the teeth as well.
Yeah.
So the whole village of Asney, which is part of the foundation, we treat every child in that village, and also she's got a foundation that she looks after young women, and we treat the young women of the foundation as well.
Yeah.
So it was a really rewarding trip. Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And great to be able to help these children and take the pain away.
Yes.
Yeah, it must be awful.
Yeah, and they are, they value what we do. It's nice, to get that. They understand, they're in the pain, that we go and help them. And especially when you go back for a second year, because they trust you.
Yes.
It's not as scary for them, and then they're happy to see you. And we make the experience we turn it into an experience to make it as good as possible. So they're happy, they're doing painting, colouring, and make some fun into it as well.
Yeah.
It's not just getting your teeth taken out.
No. So. There's everything that goes with it as well, to make it a fun experience.
Yeah.
Now, you've got some projects coming up. There's one in September, isn't there?
Yeah.
And this is, I believe, with RIFCOM.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to explain what RIFCOM do?
Yeah, so RIFCOM are a Gibraltar-based charity, and they're very similar to the ethos of Dental Mavericks in that they're a group of entrepreneurs who have set up to give back, and they basically go into the rural areas of the RIF, and they putting educational projects, and they're also in the process at the moment of building a school. And they'd worked in a small village called Hisana, which they'd developed the school there and education programmes there, and they invited us last year to go and work alongside them and treat the children of this particular project. So we're going back there in a second year, but not just that, we've really felt some real synergy with RIFCOM, because these charities are all different, that we find, every charity's different, but all their money goes towards the projects, and they're doing all the work is volunteered. And the similar ethos with Dental Mavericks, our costs are kept to a minimum.
Yes, that's right. Because you when you went over there, and when you do any trip, you fund it yourself. It's
everybody funds
your
themselves,
money,
our money.
Yeah.
I mean, I go over every 6 to 8 weeks. I fund that myself.
Yeah.
And the RIFCOM have the same ethos as well.
Yeah.
We'd get as much with some things you have to pay for. You don't have a choice, but most of the money we can safely say goes to the kids and doesn't go to anything else, or the supplies for the children, and they're the same. So we found some real synergy with them. So hopefully next year, or towards the end of this year, we're looking to develop maybe a medical centre or a multi-centre to be able to treat more children, but also access more communities within the rural areas of Morocco, of Chefchaouen. So it's really exciting to have. I think it's a special relationship that we've got, because by chance you wouldn't have had that with another charity. I think it's quite rare.
Yeah,
so
and it complements each other.
It complements each other. So you've got 2 prongs. You've got your education, you've got health, and also the same mindset as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And is there anything else you think we should be aware of? Anything you want to highlight?
I think really some people mention that they think Morocco is a rich country, or that because obviously the Morocco that most people see is Agadir or the holiday resorts. But I think if people just maybe, if they're interested in what we do, is look at the rural areas and know that there is a lot of poverty there, and the children are literally stood up in the clothes that they have.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they have.
There's a big need for things like Wellington boots in the winter, and coats, and things that are just going to make their lives a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And just going back to the RIFCOM, I mean, when we are treating people in the Atlas and the RIF, those kids are walking 4 or 5 hours to see us, just to get to us, to have a tooth out. So they want that to happen, whereas we take a lot for granted, I think.
We do, don't we?
Yeah. And it's good. And if anyone wants to get involved or help with Dental Mavericks, again, we're really open to that as well. We're not a closed charity.
No. Oh, that's good. Yeah, if anybody comes up with any ideas.
Yeah, we'd love to. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's lovely. Well, your website's been coming up on the screen.
Great.
Thank you.
So
just wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Whatever you're doing next with all your different initiatives and projects.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. And keep us up to date.
I will.
Yes, and we should remind people that we are very lucky, because here, sort of like in the rest of Europe, we have the dental services on our doorstep and quite often don't use them.
Or value them either.
Or value them, like you say. Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank
Cheers.
you.